Hello everybody, welcome to Erndales. My name is Dale and I live in Western Manitoba, Canada. If you are just joining me for the first time, you are very welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, I apologize for the long absence. I think my last video was in December, and I actually got sick and I wasn't feeling all that great, and I've just been kind of taking it easy and well, not really taking it easy, but just being. Winter has been pretty difficult here. We've had a lot of snow and a lot of cold, and we still are having a lot of cold, and we're still having a lot of snow. It does not look like spring where I live. It looks like the middle of January. So yeah, it's been kind of a few months since I've been on doing any kind of YouTubing, and I have missed it. But in the meantime, I've been thinking about things that I want to share. And today's video is I've decided, because I do so many different things, you know, I knit and I stitch and I quilt and I do all kinds of different things. I decided that I'm going to make specific videos tailored to what certain people would want to see. So for instance, today's video is going to be all about cross stitch and stitching of any kind, like slow stitch or crazy stitch or whatever, but it's going to be a video on stitching, because that seems to be what I've been doing an awful lot of. Before Christmas, I was into a knitting kick like you wouldn't believe, and I knit so much, and I pretty much haven't touched a knitting needle in 2 months. I've been just stitching, and I've been actually really enjoying it. I find it's a very more restful, not so much stressful, gives you lots of time to let your mind wander as you're stitching along. I usually stitch in a quiet place, usually up here. Nobody else is up here, it's just me, and I have usually have some music going and, you know, a cup of tea, and I can just while away the hours if I have hours to while away. So today I'm just going to talk about stitching. So if you're not really into that kind of thing, I guess you can always check. I've got lots of other content on other videos, from gardening to photography to poetry to you name it. There's lots and lots of videos there. So if you don't want to watch this one, I quite understand, and I hope you come back for my next video. So like I say, I have been doing a lot of stitching, and it's funny, I guess I'm no different than a lot of other people. You know, once I start doing a project, like for instance, if I start a pair of socks, I'm knitting those socks, but in here I'm got project after project after project that I'm creating in my head of the next socks and the next this and the next that. Well, stitchery is exactly the same way for me. I might be stitching on one piece, but then I maybe have seen another piece and I'm thinking, oh, I should start that. And so what ends up is having, what I end up having, and I know most stitchers do, they have a whole bunch of projects, and that's great. But sometimes life interferes with that, and you're ending up doing a bunch of projects, and maybe some you'll finish and more you won't. So I'm at my age, I'm trying to quit that kind of stuff. I'm trying to finish what I start and not be so sucked into all the other things. Having said that, I'm a total failure at that. So anyway, let's show you, I've got some things to show you what I've been working on. I have found a bunch of things, actually. I recently went through this whole studio craft area again, and I actually uncovered a bunch of stuff that is old, that, I don't know, by old I mean maybe I started it in the 1980s sometime. And there again, this is another thing. What you do at certain times of your life, what you like at certain times of your life, is not exactly what you might like later on in your life. And I'll show you that. I've got quite a few examples of that actually. So what have I been stitching on? Well, I am still working on this pillow and I love it. I'm going to tip it this way because otherwise the sun. I love the pattern. I love everything about it, except that I don't love working on linen anymore. And that's an age thing. My eyes are really struggling with this, but I have made some progress. This is where I've gotten with it. This is being stitched on 32 count Belfast linen. And I'm really, really struggling with the size of the linen, like the small, the tight weave, I guess is maybe what I'm struggling with the most. And so I'm either going to have to quit stitching on linen or buy some of those, you know, magnifying lit up things that you put on your head. I have got a really good magnifying light, you know, the kind that goes overhead, but I find that's even not working so well because you have to look through it down and then I get a stiff neck and da, da, da. So I think at some point, if I'm going to continue working on finer fabrics, then I'm going to have to invest in some glasses things. So that's my 3 snows on a robin's tail and then spring. It's a pretty little pillow and I really wanted to get it done before the robins show up, but I might not make it. I've heard some people say that they've seen robins already, although I don't know why a robin would come here right now because it's so cold and there's so much snow. Don't come yet, robins. So that's one project I've been working on. But what I've been really working on, I ordered this. It was a kit. This one here. I ordered it from 123 Stitches. Got a little bit of a. It's actually a Russian from Pana. It's a Russian kit or a Russian stitch. And oh my gosh, I don't know when I've ever enjoyed anything as much as I've enjoyed stitching on this. I've just been blowing through this like crazy, and there's a lot of backstitch in this, and I love backstitch. I love embroidery and I love backstitch. So this for me is kind of the best of both worlds. You get, you know, lots of cross stitch and lots of backstitch. And what I really love about this is oh, and I didn't bring it up. Oh, yes, I did. I really love the color, which is, here's what I've done so far. I'll try and get a little bit closer so you can see some of the detail. It's an amazing piece. It really is. And it has been such fun to stitch. I'm getting to this part here. Let's see if I can get it. This here is the border already, and the border is going to be coming on the other side. So I'm actually to the sides. There's just a bit of a border here, and then all this tree stuff here, and then the border. So I'm getting there. I think I probably will have this finished fairly quickly. But I've loved this. Absolutely loved it. And what I really have loved about this is being able to use one thread, not having to change thread. This is this was a kit. Everything came with it. I think it's 14 count Aida, and I wished it was not 14 count Aida, but it's a kit, so you get what you get. And this is the floss from it. It is variegated red, and I love that you have no control over what it's going to turn out like. You know, you pull your thread, you split your thread, you stitch, and you get what you get. And I really am enjoying that, you know, because you don't really know how it's going to look until you actually stitch it. So it's been really nice. The thread, I've never heard of this kind. It's called Gamma. It's not the nicest thread to work with. It's quite coarse. It has no sheen to it all, and it sort of acts, I'm sure it's cotton, but it acts sort of like wool in that it pills quite a bit. So it's not the nicest thread to work with, but I think that it's coming out pretty nicely. I'm quite happy with the way it's coming out. So this is going to be a finish soon because I can't seem to put this down. So I've pretty much been working on this full time in the last month, and I think this one is going to be finished long before I even think about finishing anything else. And then the other thing that I've been working on, and I haven't been working on it a lot, is this Winter Wonderland by Angela Pullen. This is an old whip of mine. I'm trying to get that. I bought this back in the 80s, and I bought it because I have a picture of my mother dressed in a coat like this, except hers was blue, I think, but she had a hood up and she had snow behind her. It's a picture of her when she was it was taken when she was a young woman, maybe, I don't know, 18, 19 years old. And it just reminded me so much. So I bought this way back when, in the 80s. And I've always called this one Erna because that was my mom's name. So I found this one in a project bag, and I thought, I've always loved this, and I have to finish it because I want it up on my wall. So this is Erna, and I'll show you where I'm at with Erna. I haven't really done a whole lot on, since I got this other one, I haven't really done a lot on Erna, but she's coming along. I really want to get this one done too. So once I finish the Russian one, I will probably switch and do mostly this one. And then the other one, is there another one? No, there isn't another one. So it's just really those three that I'm currently working on. And like I say, for me right now, that's enough, but that's not all that I want to work on. I have quite a few projects that I want to work on. I have ordered some smaller pieces. I want to do this one. It's from Cottage Garden Samplings, and it is A Time for All Seasons series number 3. It's the robin, and I want to do this one because I love robins. They're my favorite bird. So I want to do this one. It's a small piece, 100 by 130, so it's not that big. This was part of a series, so I don't know. I never really looked into the whole series to see what else was with this one, but this is the only one I'm going to do. And then Cottage Garden Samplings have a new sale out this year, the Year in the Woods. And of course, I'm sure everybody's seen this one. This is the fox. This is the first one. I think they've released 3 now in this cell. The fox was the first one, and then the swan and the rabbit. And here again, I think I might just do the fox, although I'm very tempted with the rabbit, and I think I'm just going to do them as singles. I don't know that I'm going to, I don't know. We'll see. I don't really have any place to put, and that's the other thing at my stage of life. I really don't have enough wall space for all these things. I love samplers and I love to do them, but I don't really want to hang them anymore. It's not my thing anymore. So I don't know. I'm more into, I think now, finishing the projects that I have, like the bigger pieces that I have got, and just to do smaller things, maybe that I can give away as a gift, or, little things like this that I can hang on a wall somewhere, but they're not big samplers. Although, when I watch other floss tubers and I see the samplers that they're doing, I just kind of itch to do a big sampler, but I don't know that I will. And I also ordered, it hasn't come yet, but I've been looking years ago. I don't know if I have a picture of it. Years ago, I bought a book. I think it was called Better Homes and Gardens. It was a Better Homes and Gardens publication, and it was all Christmas stockings. And I lent the book out to a friend, and I never got it back. And I'm kind of, I don't, I'm pretty sure she hasn't got it anymore. I haven't asked, and we've sort of drifted apart. She was a work person, somebody that I worked with. I don't really have much contact with her, so I've kind of just chalked it up that I'm never going to see that book again. But I always intended to do some of the stockings in the book, and I never did. But I have decided that I want to do a Christmas stocking for a little fellow in our family. And I keep thinking about that book, and I know that there was several in there that were suitable for a child, not a baby, not an adult, but a child. And I really wanted to find some of these patterns. So I went on several sites, and I ended up on eBay, and I actually found the pattern that I was looking for. So I have ordered it. It's just a pattern, and I'll have to kit it up, but it is a beautiful stocking, and it's from that book. And so I was quite excited about that. I can't wait to get it and start on it, because I would like to get that done for Christmas for him. So those are the things that I sort of have in the queue to work on. Oh, and I tried something that I've never done before. Wait till you see this. I'm quite excited. I've been watching, of course, a lot of FlossTube, and I've been watching Michelle, Mama Loves You GB. She dyes a lot of her own, well, most of her own fabric, and she had a little bit tutorial on how to dye fabrics. So I thought, well, I'm going to try it. So I did. Only thing is, where I live, it's really hard to get the liquid RIT dye. They still have boxes out here. So I thought, well, okay, I'll try the boxes. I mean, the boxes came before the liquid. Must have worked then. So I bought myself a box of Pro Gray and I think tan. They were out of a lot. Anyway, I tried my hand at dyeing some fabric, and I think I did pretty good for my first go. So this is a piece of 18 Aida, and this I dyed with Pro Gray, and it turned out pretty good. I'm quite happy how I got the modeling. I don't know if you can see that really good, but I got some pretty good modeling in here, which is nice. So I think I might do the fox on this piece, or the robin. I'm not sure which. One of them I might do on this piece. Maybe the robin, I think, would look pretty good. But now that I've done a couple of pieces of this, I'm really itching to do some more of my own dyeing. But I would like to get some different fabrics. This next one, this is a piece of Even Weave Laguna 28 count, and this was actually a cream color to start with, and I used the Pro Gray on this, and I sort of got I can't really tell. Well, it's not really blowing out the color. It's kind of cool. It would be nice for like a Halloween piece or something, I'm thinking. So again, I think I did pretty good with it. So I have one more piece of this. I'd like to get the green, the very light green, and try a piece of that. So those are my 2 attempts at dyeing, and I'm quite proud that I didn't totally mess them up, and I think they're going to be really nice to work on. This one, I'll start with this one. I'll work on this one first. And then, yeah, I actually think that this robin would look nice on that. I think that that would fit pretty good. So I might start that one. And then the other day, well, not too far away, I've been cleaning. I had a bed in the little nook over here, and if you watch some of my other videos, I did a tour of this area up here. And I decided to get rid of the bed because we have a guest room and we have hide-a-beds in other places of the house. And I found, as cute as that little nook is and as cozy as it is, nobody ever slept up here. And it just became a place for me to pile stuff. And it drove me nuts. So I got rid of the bed. And when I pulled the bed out of there for the people who came to get it, I found some early treasures, and I'll show you. I found this. Now, this is a project bag that I bought, and I don't even know where I bought it from. I bought it in the 70s, 1974, 5, something like that, and it's actually a cross-stitch project bag. And it's so cool, and you wouldn't believe there's stuff in it. That, more whips, woohoo. So it unzips all the way around, and then it opens like this. And inside of it, there's pockets on either side to hold your projects. And then there's this plastic thingamajig that you can put your floss in. But inside, wouldn't you know? And it's got a ring binder to it in here. Like you could actually put some of those big rings, you know, with your floss cards on there. But I was kind of disgusted when I looked in here because I don't think I've ever opened this up maybe in 30 years. I found some more projects. So the first thing I found was, oops, that's the chart. Where's the picture? Here we go. This here. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it very well. And it's really funny because when I was on eBay the other day looking for the stocking, I actually saw this kit for sale. And I thought, oh, I got that. I wonder where it is. Well, I found it. And this was a kit by Becella called Summer Symphony. And look at here. I've done quite a bit of it. And I actually really like this. It's a Victorian house. So you know what? I'm going to finish this. I'm pulling this out of here. And I'm going to work on this one too. I'll add it to my pile of things to work on. So that's one thing that's in here. And then this pattern was in there. I have never started this. I have always loved this Doctor and the Doll. I don't know if I'll ever do it now, but honestly, I wished I had remembered that I had this. Who knows, maybe I'll do it. And then I also found a piece, a little sampler that was stitched by one of my aunts when she was young. And so I'm going to keep this out and I'm going to give it a good iron and I'm going to frame it. Why is it in here? I don't know. So, but that's not all. There's still another piece in here, I think. Yes, there is. There's this one that I started. I know the year I started this was 1984. I started this for my husband, for his office. Well, he's now a pastor, and I don't think he wants this in his office anymore. So this is where I've gotten with that one. I might do this one and give it to my son. I'm sure he'd like it in his office. So as you can see, projects abound. But I'm really kind of happy that I found this case. I completely forgot, and I will work on this one too. So it was a good thing. And here's all the flosses for the Victorian house. Like, they're all in here. Crazy. I don't know why I ever stopped. Actually, I do remember now why I stopped this. I think I ran out of one thread. And I probably have that thread now. But at the time, I didn't I didn't feel like ordering it or buying it or looking for it or whatever. I don't think there was anything online at that time, because that was long before online stuff. So when I was looking for the pattern for the stocking, I got out a bunch of books, and years ago I used to subscribe to, no, I have this in order. I'm going to try not to mess this up. Years ago I subscribed to the Better Homes and Gardens Christmas cross stitch magazines. I'll show you one. And these were in the late 1990s, early 2000s, I think. And they have, I was going through them thinking, because I know there are some stockings in here from that book, but not the one that I was looking for. So I was sitting, I hauled them all out of my bookcase, and I was paging through them. And I found a bunch of projects that I would like to try. So none of them are big. They're all smalls. So I thought I would just share with you kind of the things that I think that I would like to work on at this stage of my life. And here's one of them. Let's see if I can pull this over. Things like this, these Santas. I quite like, I've never done a cross stitch pattern that turned into a figure. I've never done a drum. I've never done a strawberry. I really want to do a strawberry, but I've never done a strawberry. So this is Santa, Mr. Claus, Mrs. Claus, and an elf. I thought that was kind of cute. So that's one thing that I would like to try to do. And also, excuse me a minute. Here's another type of thing. Am I getting a sheen on here? I can't see. Yeah, these are the nativity characters done. Now I think these ones are done on, I'm not sure if these ones are done on, they might be plastic canvas. I don't know that I would do that. But I might try and do them on fabric and then stiffen the fabric in some way. There's ways to get around that. I could figure that out myself. Here's a great guy. Look at him. Isn't he cool? Really nice. So this is the kind of stuff that I think I would like to concentrate on going forward, instead of big, you know, projects, because I have enough big projects here. Just a minute. Here's some more nativity. These ones are on plastic canvas. I don't really want to work on plastic canvas, but I kind of thought they were a little bit of a nice idea. Let's see what else. This one I really want to do. I think he is stunning. This fellow here. Isn't that lovely? And I don't really know why you couldn't do this with a lot of Santas. You know, like I have done a lot of Santas on a picture type of thing. And they're not all jig-jaggedy. You could actually turn them all into a standing figure if you just thought it through a little bit. But he's nice. I like this one. I think this one is going to be the first one that I try. And here's yet another one. Now these books, I don't know if they still are in publication or not. But they have a lot, there's a lot of other stuff in here. And actually, while I'm on this book in particular, I have two of them. So I'm going to flip through this book a little bit for you so that you can see what's inside of it, and then I'm going to offer it as a giveaway. So just let me get going here. Here's actually one of those stockings from that book. This is the Gardener's Delight one. That's from that original book. Wonderful stocking. I would love this for myself. So that's in there. And you know, the nice thing about those stockings, you can do a lot of littles from them. Here's this Mary Engelbrecht piece, the one that's on the front cover, which is wonderful. I love anything Mary Engelbrecht. And if you need proof of that, you can look back on my videos and see the big Mary Engelbrecht embroidery that I did a year or so ago for Baby Blanket. It was wonderful. Here's some more of those pillow pieces. Lovely. There's a nice banner. Some nice stitches in that. Lovely Santa. He's nice, and this little reindeer is pretty nice too. I'm just showing you all these because this is the book that I'm going to give away. There's a nice table runner. Nice little, there's says little ones, there's bigger ones. This book is full of stuff, and then of course the Santa's in there. Some more. A nice, what do you call these things? Can't remember. A bell pull. Nice bell pull. And a little snow globe. So here's 12 Days of Christmas. I'm sorry about the shine on everything. As well as there's a bunch of little ornament things in the back, like lots of them. So if you are interested in receiving, this is mine, but if you're interested in receiving this book, this magazine, it's from 2002, Cross Stitch Christmas Creative Collection, Better Homes and Gardens. If you're interested in having a chance at this one, put in the comment Christmas 2002, and I will announce the winner on my next video. So all of these things, you know, there's so many things to do, and I think that for the time being, oh, here's some more. Look at these. Aren't they cute? So I think once I get all these other things finished, I'm going to work on some Christmas things for gifts. And I think these figures are going to be sort of what I focus on, and this guy's going to be first. I absolutely love him. And I think he's going to be for me. So one of the things that I was thinking about, and this is probably going to be a long video. One of the things I was thinking about when I was stitching, and I was thinking about when I first started to stitch, and I believe I did cross stitch on my own later on, like into the 70s, but my very first, I think, attraction to stitching or embroidery was back when I was about 9 or 10 years old. My brother, oldest brother, and his wife, their first home after they got married, they bought a little, well, in today's standards, it would be little mobile home. And I remember my sister-in-law, Bev, stitching curtains for her windows. And the old mobile homes, the windows were very small. And she was stitching on yellow gingham, and she was putting black French poodles on there. And I remember I was just totally fascinated by these black poodles on this yellow gingham. And I just thought that was the nicest, prettiest thing I had ever seen. And I believe, I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure that she was the first one that actually showed me how to do some embroidery. And then as I got a little bit older, there was a girls group in our church called Explorers. And in that group, it was sort of like Girl Guides, but it was in a church setting. We had to work for stars on our sleeve. And we had to learn different tasks, like some of the stars you got for doing a deed for somebody or whatever, but there were certain stars that you actually had to learn to do something. And we learned embroidery and we learned to knit at these things. And my mother was the leader of this, so I actually had already kind of learned some of the stuff, but I loved to do the embroidery. And what we did was my mom would stamp out blocks, very simple blocks, and we would embroider them, put them all together and make baby blankets, and then we would send them to a woman's shelter. So, you know, if you did so many blocks, you got a star. Same thing with the knitting. We were making squares, different squares, corner to corner or whatever, and then my mom would put them all together and they would be donated to homeless shelters or whatever. So that was my earliest recollection of doing any kind of needlework, was my sister-in-law doing, and I'll have to ask her. She probably won't remember. She's quite elderly now, but I think that probably was my first time ever doing any kind of stitching or being interested in stitching. So, you know, that's a long time ago. That was in the 60s. So I think, you know, and as you go along, you get different ideas about things. And you know, for a while I just wanted to do big pictures. Well, I don't want to do big pictures anymore. I'll finish the ones that I've got started, hopefully, but I want to do small things now. And I love doing ornaments for Christmas and things. So I think I'm going to be referring to these wonderful magazines more and more and more. And I've got so many of them. You know, I mean, they go on and on and on and on. I collected these for years. And I was actually going to throw them out, but I'm not now, because I wasn't going to throw them out. I was going to give them to charity or something, but I think I'm going to keep them for a little bit longer. So I think I've yammered on long enough, and I hope you've enjoyed this. And if I finish anything, I'll come back and do another one. And I think it's going to be kind of hit and miss now for a while, because gardening season is going to be coming up, and I'm also a gardener, so you know, I might do seed starting video, but I have a lot of videos on here of all kinds of different content. So please, you know, if you don't see me for a while, look back and see all the other things that I've put on, and hopefully you enjoy them. But for now, I'm going to say cheerio. Everybody take care, and I hope wherever you are, spring is nearer than it is here. But we can always look forward to spring, can we not? So from now, I'm going to say goodbye and take care, everyone. I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.